To be a long summer. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nathan Bombrys. I'm the Managing Director of the Glasgow Warriors, and so welcome to this evening's event. The first thing I'd like to say to all of you, I think it's the first chance that we've had to see many of you since the final day in Dublin, and I just wanted to say on behalf of the club, a big thank you to all of you who made the effort to come over, and all of you who made the effort to get in front of a television and support the club on that day. It wasn't quite the day we had all hoped it had been, but the support we received really sent a message around the Pro 12 and European rugby that Glasgow is a growing club. So thank you for your support. But you're not here to hark back and think back at last season. You're here obviously because you've renewed your support again, or maybe some first timers as well for the new season ahead. So you're here to hear about the season ahead, which is tremendous. And again, I thank you for committing yourselves to a number of weekends here at Scotstoun this season. There's been quite a few developments in the off season I can tell you about. We've actually been kicked out for the Commonwealth Games, so we've had the players have had and coaches have had a period of about 7 or 8 weeks where they've had to train at various locations around Glasgow and elsewhere. And in fact, off the field we've had to squeeze into one tiny office as well. So we've had it's only a week back with the whole organisation back here at Scotstoun. We've had you'll be pleased to hear that we've had some significant investment in the pitch. So it's had yes, I thought that would be. So there's been a whole new drainage system put in, new drainage. They've dug out all the undersoil heating pipes and put new drainage in below. Put in 4.5 centimeters of new sand, and put some sand in grit slits, and done all kinds of technical stuff. I don't even have a garden at home, and here I am trying to be an expert on a pitch. But they assured us it's going to be good to go for the season. So it's looking good, and it was looking good at this point last year too. But we do expect to get a good season out of that pitch. We've also got some new broadcasters on board. This season, the Pro 12 matches will be shown live on Sky Sports. We've taken over Saturdays, so it's great that we've got a major broadcaster showing our matches live in a language most of us understand. But it comes with a downside as well. It means that Sky, the arrangement with Sky is they take over Saturdays, so Sky have exclusivity on Saturdays, which means that the other broadcasters have to look at Fridays and Sundays for some of their matches. So in Wales, the Welsh broadcasters are still very important. Rugby's obviously a very, very high priority for the people in Wales, and so the Friday night and the Sunday afternoon slot are the 2 slots for the Welsh broadcasters, which means we do have a couple of Sunday games in our schedule as well. And then we've got here in Scotland, we've got BBC Alba, and now have discovered a red button that does English language commentary, which is a tremendous development. And now that's been a lot of hard work put in by Scottish Rugby and ourselves, and the success I think of the last couple of seasons at Glasgow has opened the eyes of the BBC to what can be and what should be achieved with the rugby coverage. And then we're also going to have 6 games shown live on BBC Two. So hopefully Friday nights, but there'll be some of the away games as well. So that's 6 games for the first half of the season, split between Glasgow and Edinburgh. So great coverage. It's going to get us in front of all of Scotland, and again, that will have a red button with Gaelic language commentary if you're interested. So real tremendous. And we've got our first pre-season game here on Saturday. We've got Harlequins coming up and a chance to test out the pitch at Scotstoun. We've launched our new kit. We've got 2 new kits, a home and away kit today, and those will be on sale along with a range of other merchandise from Macron at the game on Saturday as well. So it's a lot to look forward to in this season. And now I'll stop talking and let you get down to what you want to hear about, which is the rugby. So could I ask you, I'll give a round of applause as I introduce our head coach, Gregor Townsend.
Good evening, and thanks for coming in so many numbers. It's great to see there's an excitement, a buzz, and an interest in the next season coming up. What I'd like to do is first have a little review of last season, my thoughts of the coaching staff, what we've been working on during pre-season, and then I look forward to the season. There are 2 or 3 slides, so if you do wave at the back, if you can't see the writing, I'll explain exactly what I've got up there. But to get you in the mood, we're going to show a little montage that BBC Alba did for us leading up to the final, which I'm sure you've maybe seen or certainly heard the song.
We make mistakes, we rise again, we choose the road we shouldn't take, we bend the rules, we cross the line, it's just enough to feel alive, but it makes us who we are tonight. Every battle, every scar, we are warriors, we are shouting from our hearts. This is who we are, we have traveled near and far. Lord, 1,000 wars, here we're screaming from our hearts. This is who we are. This is who we are. We play with fire, we laugh, we cry, we taste the dark to see the light. We're wild and free, without a clue. We put our trust in someone new, but it makes us who we are tonight. Every battle, every scar, we are warriors, we are shouting from our hearts. This is who we are, we have traveled near and far. Lord, 1,000 wars, here we're screaming from our hearts. This is who we are. This is who we are. Every battle, every scar, we are warriors, we are shouting from our hearts. This is who we are, we have traveled near and far. Lord, 1,000 wars, here we're screaming from our hearts. This is who we are. This is who we are.
It's a great video, isn't it? Okay, just as a gauge, hands up the people that like that song. Good to hear. A few weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, I heard this song on the radio, and next day I came into work. I said, "There's a song that says we are warriors. We should use it." And then someone at work googled and said it was by Boyzone, so they said no chance. We can't use that, but it grew on the people at work, and the guys at BBC Alba put a great video together. So forget about being Boyzone. I thought the words were fantastic. Well, BBC Alba did very well there to show all the players that were involved in our season last year. So I think the pictures of everyone in the squad. We played almost 50 players throughout the league season, and it really was a squad effort to get us to that final and have that great run of games going up to the RDS. Just to review a little bit of last season, this was very pleasing that we got our first home semi-final. That league table there, if you can't see at the back, shows that we had the most wins out of any team in the league last year, which is a great achievement from the players. A couple other highlights for me would be the 1872 Cup. It's always nice to get that trophy and beat Edinburgh. And even better that the game was played at the closer to the end of the season on a dry track, and we managed to score some cracking tries. Favourite weekend for the squad and the coaches was this weekend. Melrose 7's win came, I think, about an hour after a historic win over at Thomond Park when we beat Munster out there. So the same weekend that we were winning against Munster, another part of our squad were playing really well, had a real professional performance down at Melrose. So it was a tremendous weekend. We set a goal for the team to be the toughest team to beat, and also to play the fastest rugby in Europe. So last year, in terms of ranking in our league, we were ranked first in points conceded and first in tries conceded, which means we, on paper, had the best defence. In terms of playing the fastest rugby, we're ranked first in our league for the number of offloads, third for the number of line breaks, and fifth for tries scored. Obviously, we'd like that try scored to go a bit higher. Just looking at the offloads, compared to all the teams throughout the world, ourselves and Toulouse rank highest, even out the teams that play Super Rugby. So it's something that players have really taken to, that offloading, that playing at pace. A bit more detail on a try scored. We look at a lot of areas where what sorts of possession we score our tries from, what time in the game. This one area of real interest to me is where we score our tries. So we're ranked first at tries scored from our half, so that's the longest range tries. We scored 20. I think the next best in the league was 13. Mid-range we ranked 4th, and then that area in opposition 22 we ranked 5th. Again, would like to be ranked first in all those areas, but the pleasing thing was that scoring tries from distance and going through a number of phases shows the players know what they want to do, and they're able to have a real attack in opposition and play with ambition. One of the most pleasing things for me last season was our consistency. And there's consistency right through this organisation. It starts first with the investment we get, the support from Scottish Rugby. A lot of you will know the history of professional rugby in Scotland, and maybe the investment wasn't there, or the investment for the future wasn't there a number of years ago, but the last few years we've had real investment from Scottish Rugby. The facility here is fantastic, we're now based in, so there's been consistency and a backing the clubs here to last. There's also been real consistency from support, from you guys turning up to support us here and more away from home. It's fantastic to see. There's almost 4,000 at our game in the final at the RDS. The players show consistency all the time. So how they turn up and train, how they look after themselves off the field. Our training sessions at the end of the season were some of the best we've ever seen, and we've been involved in a number of teams, international teams as well. The beginning of this season has been tremendous. Last week, the Monday and Tuesday sessions were a real high quality, as was yesterday. And that consistency translates into better performances. We played 31 games last year. We won 21 out of 31. And only one of those games did we not pick up a point, either a losing bonus point or scoring 4 tries. Can you guess which game it was? Anybody? Dragons at home is correct. What a terrible game that was, isn't it? But you take that game out, that's 30 out of 31 games we've been right in there of either winning the game 21 times or coming close to winning. So it's a credit to the players turning up and fronting up at training and keeping the standards really high every time they play. There are a number of areas to improve right across the board. We want to see improvement to get another 5%, 10%. So I don't want to go into every area, but there's 3 that stand out from a more general perspective. First one is our performances in Europe. We got 11 points. That was 2 victories, 2 wins against an English team, which was great, but we did play to our potential in the games against Cardiff, and we had an opportunity to win against Toulon, which we should have taken. 2 other areas, we lost 4 games, as you saw before in the Pro 12. 3 of them were during international periods, so 1 against the Dragons in November, and 2 defeats during the Six Nations. So we really need to improve that. and that's down to the coaches, how we get the guys back from international period and get them back into the way of playing, and to make sure that we're 100% during that period as well. So looking ahead to this season coming, our purpose, which drove us last year, was to become the first Scottish team to win a title. It's driving again this year. And the fact we got so close last year, played in the final, will motivate us even more. So that's a winning team. Leinster again. We've lost Narla in the semi-final, now we've taken them on a final. And we know we have to be better next year to earn that chance to play in a final again and go out and win. I want to show you this table. I'm not sure if I showed you last year, but it was where the club has progressed over the last few seasons, not just in our league, but up against the best European teams. So this is a table that gets put together called the Euro ranking table. So it's based on wins throughout the season. It's actually weighted against teams from Scotland and Italy. You get more points if you beat an English and French team. So if you're playing the English league or the French league, you're going to play them more consistently. But we're sitting 5th in that table. We were for the last 6 weeks of the season, which is great. The teams above us, Toulon are now number 1. For years it was Leinster, last 4 years. But more importantly, look at the teams below us. You've got Bath, Munster, Leicester, Clermont, Castres, who were French champions last year, Toulouse, Stade Francais, some really big names. So it's taken a lot from the players to get to that level. We talk about Leinster a lot, and we have done the last few years. Before I came to the club, they were always a team that set the bar, the standards, and how to win rugby and how to play at a pace, but also with a real aggression. And we've learned a lot playing against them, and we've improved, and we've managed to beat them. The win here at the beginning of the season last year was a tremendous win. What they've done over the last few years is something we'd like to emulate, and that's what we're working towards. So on the right is Leinster's European ranking. So back in 2008, 6 years ago, they were 9th in Europe, and then they just got consistently better. 4th, first, and now still in the top 2. On the left column is where we've gone from. So if you look from 2011, there's been real progression. 11th, 8th, and 5th, and that arrow's pointing upwards. And I believe with the squad we've got, we can improve on that this year. How we do that is through competition. So the competition we've got in the squad really gives me headaches about which team to select. It's great to see it training. It's great to see the players within the squad improving all the time. The players we brought in this season really add quality to our group. And the winner, I've seen this quote a few weeks ago, the winner is not only the person who practices more, it's also the person who competes better. So we work very hard to improve ourselves as a playing group, but also compete really hard to get in that starting team. And the players know that they've got to perform, or the player that's competing for them will get picked the following week. So on that, I want to just talk about 3 players. Don't often talk about individual players, but 3 players that were challenging for the number 6 jersey last year. All different, all great club players. First one is Josh Strauss. Now Josh played a number of games at 6, also played at number 8 for us. And just want to say what Josh has done over the last few months. He had a tremendous season for the club, like he had the season before. He's really worked hard off the field to change his nutrition, change the way he prepares for games. Last week he came back and did a fitness test and he shaved 30 seconds off his personal best. He's in the shape of his life, and we can't wait for him to play this weekend against Harlequins in the season. So I just thought I'd share with you what Josh has been doing. As supporters, you know what he's like on the field and what a great player for us he is. Competing for Josh for the number 6 jersey, we have James Eddy. Outstanding season he had last year. He won the Coaches Award, which is given to the player who best represents the values of the club, and that's improving yourself, improving your teammates, and improving the club. And James epitomises all 3 values. He's really worked hard at improving his own game. He's the best at a training session of geeing up the other players, even if he's not on the team, really making the trainings go well, helping his teammates, and he's, as you speak to anybody on the commercial side, marketing side of the club, he's fantastic at spreading all the good things about Glasgow Warriors. He also had a tremendous season for the Sevens last year, played for Scotland Sevens, played really well, and played for our winning Sevens team down at Melrose. And the final guy pushing for that number 6 jersey was your player of the season, Rob Harley, who again epitomises so much of the good values of the club. Someone that puts his body in the line, unselfish acts, sacrificial acts, seems to like a number of positions. Obviously that's the role of blindside flanker, but we've got that competition right throughout every position in our group. I wanted to show you a little video of what the guys have been doing in pre-season. Nathan alluded to the fact that it was a different pre-season for us. We had to be out of Scotland for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So we looked at various venues in Glasgow, and there wasn't any really available during the Commonwealth Games. So we decided to do something different with a 3-week holiday during July, when we had to be out of Scotland. And there was it was new territory for us. Munster had done the same the year before, so we'd learned from what they'd done, and they started the season really well, and obviously had a very good season themselves. So there was science and research behind what we're trying to do. The players have came back from that 3-week holiday in the best shape of their lives. I mentioned Josh Strauss coming back and knocking 30 seconds off his PB on a fitness test. So it seems to have worked well for us, and we've made the most of that situation. We wanted to be out here. So this is the type of work the players have done this pre-season or continue to do. No. Here it comes.
Throw myself into whatever I choose. I wanna hold it, I wanna feel, I want to know that this is really biting at my heel. I know it's hard for you, I'll save the only truth. You don't have to lock the door, don't live there anymore. Say you'll be my Messiah. So 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 say you'll be my Messiah. that I wanna keep it. Oh my God, do I wanna love? I know now that I wanna keep it. Oh my God, do I wanna love? So say it, say you'll be my Messiah. So say it, say you'll be my Messiah.
It's a great video. Thanks to Gavin Vaughan, our analyst, for putting that together. It was a great video. He deserves a round of applause. You can tell there's a lot of hard work going in there. We're combining our fitness and our conditioning work with work that's relevant to what we do in the field. So a lot of skill work, games, wrestling that turns into clearing contact. Out in France, we found a dojo, a judo gym right beside where we were training, which I'm sure the players were delighted with. And one day, I wasn't there the day that it was pouring the rain, so they had to do a double session in the judo gym and the dojo. So those are really tough sessions, but we felt the benefits of doing all that wrestling and judo work last season, and we've carried on this year. One theme is for the players is to really improve their skills during pre-season, right throughout the season, and that's to get 10,000 touches between now and the end of season. And we came up with a figure that's achievable, because we tracked the players one day last week. We tracked a forward and a back. And I think Peter Horn was the back we tracked. He got 107 touches, and James Eddy was the forward, which was 91 times he got on the ball. So we worked out if they carry that on, and that's not even including games, they'll get those 10,000 touches by about February. And the improvement, how many times they get on the ball, you can see that they're improving their skills all the time. Right at the end, you saw a try by Mark Bennett, which was last Friday. We had an internal game of sevens. That was when that Nico offloaded out the back. So I thought you'd be interested in seeing the teams that we put together. We only had 21 players that could do contacts. It was great. We managed to have 3 teams of sevens. Three teams, so they played 2 games. So if you can see the names at the back there, a pretty good 7-a-side team. So first team, Adam Ash, Fraser Brown, Josh Strauss, Lee Jones, the captain, Peter Murchie, Mark Bennett and DTH. Went up against Rob Harley, Kevin Bryce, Chris Fasaro, Murray McConnell, Duncan Weir, Leone and Tommy Seymour. And the last team, James Eddy, Pat, Tyrone, Nico, Peter Horn, James Downey and Rory Hughes. So they were very equal games. It was great to see the guys have a head out. I think there was 2 draws, and I think it might have been team 1. Can't remember which team won, but I'm sure Chris Fasaro's team won. Alright, so that's a rugby, which is also a massive part of what we do on a daily basis, but it's really the culture that is at the base of our success. How the players work hard for each other, really work hard for the club, how they get on and the standards they set, the learning that goes on a daily basis, and the improvement we see every day. We're really fortunate this summer. As a coaching group, we managed to learn from some great organisations. Kenny Murray, our assistant coach, had 3 weeks out at Canterbury rugby with the Crusaders. Gavin, our analyst, was with a couple of clubs from the NFL after the Scotland tour to America. I was out in Australia, so I spent a couple of days with the Waratahs and the Brumbies and one of the rugby league clubs. And Matt Taylor was also out in Australia. He spent time with Melbourne Storm Rugby League Club and Geelong, which are the #1 AFL team. So we've picked up a lot of learning. Obviously, we can't put everything into what we do, but little bits here and there will really give us an edge this year, and also reaffirms what we're doing and what the players are doing is up there with the best organisations in world sport. The other part of culture is really driving the teamwork and togetherness, and I don't know if a lot of you knew about this, but it was a warrior race. For those on Twitter that a couple of weeks ago might have had seen the hashtag warrior race, we surprised the players by saying that they've got to there are going to be 5 groups, and those groups will stay right until the end of the season. Our 5 clans, and they had to find their way from Hughenden, which we started off with a nice fitness test for them, all the way to Stirling for 12:30 to take a kids session at Stirling before we went to St Andrews for a training camp. They had a number of tasks they had to complete. One of them was to sell tickets for Saturday's game, so they could raise money to get transport to Stirling. I think we gave them £50 as a starter because one of the groups had to get out to the airport. It was a great experience. I was sitting at Stirling Rugby Club thinking they could come back in 5 minutes or they could come back in 5 hours. We had no way of knowing. We didn't have any communication. They weren't allowed phones. And the first group came rushing in, and they did a genius few ideas to get to Stirling. One of our groups, our illustrious captain, Al Kellock, managed to get a free taxi from Glasgow to Stirling. How he managed to drive that? One of the tasks was to take a photo of one of our sponsors, the Malcolm Group, one of the lorries. You may know that a few of our players are on the back of Malcolm's lorries. So we thought they might get one lorry as they're going past. But one of the groups said, let's just send two players, get in a taxi and go to the depot and take photos of them. So that earned them lots of points. They had to get a photograph with a Commonwealth Games medalist. One group got a photo with Tom Daly, another group got a photo with Hannah Miley. They had to interview people in the street and ask them questions about Glasgow Warriors. So there was lots of tasks, and they did a tremendous job. So I'm going to show you the highlights from the winning team. Which was Clan Grant. Clan Grant, wasn't it? Ryan Grant was the clan chief. So it'll be quite funny.
Great exchange. Cheers, mate. You just say, come on the Warriors.
Go on the Warriors.
Good man. Mate, can you just say, come on Glasgow Warriors? Just say Glasgow Warriors. It's a video. Say hi if you want. Hi. Enjoying this public transport? Yep. Are you aware at all of the task that you've been given? No?
Yes.
You are. Please may collect our flag. Is that what? Can you say, come on the Warriors, please?
Come on the Warriors!
I've got Emirates in the background as well. Good. Yeah, trust it.
So there was a bit of a Commonwealth Games team. It was the Monday after the end of the Commonwealth Games. So they would get points if they took as many photos of different Clydes, the little Clyde mascots throughout the city. Probably the funniest clip for me was one of the groups, one of the tasks would get to the Emirates Stadium, and Jeremy Bowen, our media manager, would do an interview. She had to answer 3 questions on outside Emirates Stadium. And one of the group didn't realise Jeremy was outside, so they went in and managed to get official passes into the building. The building was closed for just officials, and it was Nico and Rob Harley who got these official passes. And the film of them trying to find Jeremy, they're going from room to room looking for Jeremy, and there's meetings on, so that was hilarious. But it was really good. It's great to see the group working well together. That's all for me in terms of a review of last season. I look forward to this season. We've got an opportunity now for any of you if you want to ask questions about anything before we invite the new players up. So, fire away. Who wants to ask a question?
Was it Warwick Club Sevens on Sunday? Carl Isle has done a good review about Glasgow Warriors. He says he's really helped his defence game and that, and he's really positive.
All the players available, or any injury worries?
Alright, sorry, I've got a question in the front. Well, I'll answer the both. So first question with Carlin, who did...
Yeah, just that he gave you a good review.
Alright, okay. Well, Carlin was fantastic with us. He was really good as a player coming in and wanted to improve and try and break into the 15-a-side. He was fantastic off the field. I don't know if you met him. He's one of the nicest, most positive guys you could meet. He worked really hard. He had a lot of skills that were transferable to 15s. It's good to see him scoring a cracking try at the weekend. I believe that sevens is his best route just now. It would be great to see him in the Olympics in a couple of years, but he was fantastic for us. There's a question about injuries. Was that the question in the back about?
Yes, are all the players available? Do you have any injury worries?
Yeah, if I remember everybody, there was a few guys got operations at the end of the season. So Dougie Hall is likely to be out another 6 weeks, let's say. So these are rough timings. It could be a couple of weeks out. Al Kellick had an operation, but he's been training pretty well, so he might be another 2 or 3 weeks away. Alex Dunbar, who had an injury in the final, is in great shape, so he's full training, so he should be available at the beginning of the season. Tom Ryder had an operation at the end of the season, so he'll be about 6 weeks, maybe a month to 6 weeks. Mike Cusack's improving all the time, so he should be back again within a month to 6 weeks. John Welsh had an operation about the same time as Ryan Grant, the shoulder. They're both looking for mid to late October as comeback time. Ryan Grant, same as John Welsh, had an operation just at the end of the season. He's looking really good in training, but because of the shoulder operation, he'll be another 2 months away from coming back to play. I think that's... Ryan Wilson, yeah, sorry, Ryan Wilson will be about another 4 or 5 weeks. He unfortunately got injured at training just before the end of the season. So a lot of players, if you were to come to our session, it would look like everybody is fit and ready to play, because a lot of them can do most of our training, our skills, but still with shoulder operations, it's a few weeks before they're back.
A lot of the names you've listed there, quite a few seem to be prop forwards. Do we have the depth of the squad to see us at the start of the season?
Yes, and you'll be getting introduced to 3 prop forwards that have yeah, it obviously was a consideration. It's a very important position for us. No one else in the team can cover prop. If we had injuries elsewhere, then it's easier to move a winger to play centre or second row or back row to second row, but prop we need to have the depth there. So we're really pleased with the group we've got, the new players. You'll meet Alex, Russo and Ewan very soon. They've been very impressive at training, and when everybody's back, we will have a fantastic group of players competing for that starting jersey on a weekly basis. But we do have the depth there to cover pre-season and the first few games of the season.
Your lineouts last year were sometimes a wee bit iffy. Have you been practicing on them?
Yeah, it's something that we'd always put really high standards on. I think the last few years our lineout had been in the top 2, top 3 of the league, and we dropped last year on our ball. On opposition ball, I think we're ranked 4th, so it's something that we're doing the best to improve on it. We set tasks for 4 groups in our squad to look at the best lineouts statistically in the world, so looking at the Bulls in South Africa, Northampton, Racing Metro in France, seeing if there's anything that we can learn to help our line out. We're going to have lots of things to make sure that line is a strong piece of our game.
Do you feel we were out-muscled a bit in the final?
No, I feel we at times the occasion made us rush things. We made errors in the opposition 22. I think with 3 clear try-scoring chances that we didn't take. One that we got down the ball in the line, we just knocked on, but 2 in the first half where passes didn't go to hand. I felt we were physical. I think we, at the end of the game, maybe because of the mistakes that we'd made earlier, then Leinster punished us. But I thought it was a really high-quality game, a very good opposition. We played really well against. For a large part of that first half, we were playing really well. But we put so much energy in the first half, even though I think we were either 2 points up or 2 points down at half time. You could tell the players were just a little bit disappointed that we weren't further ahead because we'd made line breaks, we'd got into the 22, we hadn't converted those opportunities. And we'll learn from it. It takes a lot of work to get a final, but a final you've got to deliver, you've got to handle the occasion, do what you've done in the weeks leading up to that game, and we know we'll have to take our opportunities next time.
In the game against the Harlequins on Saturday, can we expect a lot of rotation in the game during the game? Are you settled in your own mind that you think you know what your squad, your team's going to be against Leinster?
No, there'll be 26 or 27 players involved, and all will get a game. It's obviously a great fixture. Harlequins are a tremendous side, and they'll really challenge us at the weekend, and we want to win the game, but it's also our first pre-season game, so the players need to get that match conditioning. So I'd imagine the 15 that starts will play the first half, and then you'll see players coming off the bench in the second half. But we'll have a strong squad out on Saturday.
Last year against Munster, Donica O'Callaghan virtually refereed the game. It was symptomatic of a problem I felt we had with Irish reverse sides where they were much more streetwise at calling the referee. Have you plans to counter that this season? One thing you can share.
Yeah, well, we played Munster 3 times, and you're referring to the game here at home, which was a real niggly game. Not a great spectacle at the end as well. I think it was penalty after penalty and yellow card, and they did enough to win. They were obviously hugely motivated from the season before when they'd lost here. But I thought the other 2 games at Munster were fantastic games that were refereed well. The semi-final was a huge occasion for the club, but the game itself was at high level. And then over at Thomond Park, I think we went about our task and got to make sure the referee, we've got a phrase, we play better than the refs. So don't give him any doubt. Make sure that we play well, and there's no worries about him refereeing. But we take the role of discipline, but also how we manage referees, how we speak to them, and give them feedback very seriously. So the referees always get feedback from us on where we think they maybe could have been better.
Is there any truth in the rumour that Gordy shuffles on Just Dance 5?
The Gordy Reid shuffle. That was a classic. He'd been building up to that all season. That had to be, I think that it was close to winning a try of the season. I think it was second in the try of the season. So he'll be looking forward to doing that again this year.
We've seen a couple of good players coming through in Johnny Gray and Finn Russell in the last season or 2. Any names we should look out for the coming season, you think?
Lots. I'll mention one because I'll give you a little exclusive that he's going to be involved with us at the weekend, and that's Fergus Scott, who's younger brother of Matt Scott. He's been our EDP the last 2 seasons. He's still in our EDP. He's had a tremendous off-season in terms of changing physically, really trained well. So he's going to get that opportunity to play against Harlequins at the weekend. So there's one to look out for. Plays for Ayr, had a great season for Ayr last year, but we have a number of young players, a number of older players as well that are fighting to get in that team. So it's great to see Finn and Johnny, young guys coming through. Mark Bennett as well, doing so well in the 7th. So we're looking forward to seeing other guys coming through.
It's a question from Nathan, really. I think anyone that could remember what it was like at Thornhill when we struggled to get 1,000 fans in sometimes would be really excited last season with the crowds that we were getting. Are there any plans to improve the facilities so that we can fit more people in next year?
Yeah, there's quite a few things going on. We've got, we're going to have temporary stands in from the Leinster game. We'll have a stand in from the Leinster game, and then we're looking at bringing, that'll get our capacity over 6,000 from the start of the season. And then we are looking at bringing another stand in the West End from the first European Cup game, which will get our capacity to 7,000. So we have a consistent 7,000 all season. And then we'll aim to do what we did last year, which is to get the as the venue prepares for the RB sevens. When we get the extra capacity for the sevens, we'll plan to use that capacity for our end of season run in. Behind that, we're also doing some work with Glasgow Life to explore, very early stages, but to explore what could be next, in terms of something longer term, something a bit more permanent. So we're in the exploratory phase with them on that as well.
Just an add-on to that question, the video that we had, video screen, the Munster game was excellent. Is there any plans to bring one in permanently?
We are planning. We won't have it for Saturday because we don't have a broadcaster. We're doing it's being live streamed or highlight streamed, so we don't have a broadcaster to give us a quality feed. But the plan is to bring that screen back for every game this season. So.
Any final questions?
Do you have any plans to upgrade the clubhouse?
We need to get Gregor in there more often, that would help, but he's too busy after the games. We are going to be, at the start of the season, it's going to be the gym hall with the barn, I'm afraid. But we do realise that it could do with a bit of an improvement. So as part of our longer term picture, that's something we're talking about. In the short term, we've got a few drink sponsors involved, and we're going to be working with them to try to improve it a little bit. But at this venue, one of the things we have to do is at 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning, the track has to be ready for athletics, and the gym hall has to be ready for children to play sport on it. So we are a little bit limited in what we can do. It's got to be turned around for sports just now. So, any more questions? If Gary can get the laptop going, I think he's going to introduce some of our new signings and bring some of the guys up so you get a chance to speak to our new signings.
Okay. We'll do it one by one, so you better stand up so I can see you all. Okay, first of all, signed from Edinburgh. He's worked really hard in pre-season, and that's Alex Allen. Up you come, Alex. Next up, he was part of our EDP program a couple of years ago, went to A last year and played really well, joined us again for the latter part of the season, just 1 day a week, and he's earned a professional contract, and that's scrum half Murray McConnell. Someone who's graduated from our EDP program, had a tremendous summer. He spent 4 months out in New Zealand playing club rugby out there, and close to the end of that time he got called up for Scotland to play against South Africa, and that's Adam Ash, now got professional. Another player who's graduated from the EDP program, has been one of our best trainers throughout pre-season, really working hard to grab this opportunity to be a pro rugby player, and that's winger Rory Hughes. One of the props that we mentioned before, arrived from the Cheetahs, played over 20 games Super Rugby, impressive physical beast, let's say. And he's got stuck right into training with us, and that's Rousseau de Klerk. Okay, someone not as big as Rousseau, but he is putting the weight on. I think he's at the heaviest he's ever been. He had a tremendous season last year, which culminated in being capped by Scotland. He's now graduated from EDP into pro contract, and that's Finn Russell. Okay, our last two players actually played. Our last two players played together at Northampton. First one up is someone who's played really well against us in our battles in Munster last year. Great experience at the top level as well, Heineken Cup, and that's James Downey. And the final player who's here tonight, he's going to get the seat at the back. It's a very welcome back to Glasgow for Ewan Murray. Now, can you all keep a secret? We do have another player that we're going to announce tomorrow. Someone's come in. It's going to come in for initially a short-term period just to cover a couple of injuries, but we're delighted to have him. He's a Canadian who's played a lot of sevens rugby, but also a lot of 15s rugby. And it's Connor Braid, who covers centre and fullback, and also 10. So he joined us yesterday for training, and it'll be announced tomorrow. So please just keep that quiet until tomorrow. Connor unfortunately can't make it tonight. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Nathan to do the Q&A.
Thanks everyone. Could I just get everyone to give a round of applause to our head coach? Very excellent presentation, Gregor. Thank you. I'm going to ask a few questions of the guys, and then we'll give you a chance if you've got a question yourself. I'm going to start with, I guess, an experienced professional, and James. James, we've spoken a lot about the semi-final experience from last year, and you experienced from a different perspective. Can you give us maybe just a different Munster perspective on that game?
Jeez. I don't know where to start on that one. Obviously, the lads are very disappointed, but for me personally, to play in a game like that against such an up-and-coming team, I think stood out huge for me. You know, it was one of those things I remembered when I was speaking to Gregor, and I mentioned it to him that I felt the togetherness of the team, and suppose it's always hard when you have a crowd like that against you, and I think we just couldn't pull it out of the bag at the time, which is a bit unfortunate. A few dodgy refereeing decisions, of course. Yeah, and I think Nico had his gum shield in that day as well. So. No, but look, it's one of the things to lose a semi. That's what happens. I think Gregor mentioned it again earlier. Last year Glasgow lost the semi, and this year they got to the final, and it's about that experience and bringing it on to the next level this year. And for me, it was one of the main reasons I wanted to come over here as well.
And you've had some experience in some big games with Northampton and with Munster in your career. Is that something you think you can bring to the group this year? Some of that big game experience?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like obviously these young lads have played some big games as well, but my experience hopefully can help these lads. Maybe I think, as Gregor mentioned it, a game, and it's a simple game. Play the game, not the occasion, I guess.
Thanks, James. Can we, Finn? Our next question is for Finn. Finn, it was, I guess, a pretty special past 6 months for you. Looking back on it, you feet on the ground and landed yet from that great experience?
Yeah, back in the ground now, back in the training. So, but yeah, the last 6 months was a whirlwind. You know, I think 5 months ago I was playing with there, then to go and play in the semi-final, final, and then going to it was, I don't know, it was hard to believe at the time.
And what's next? What can we expect this season? What are you looking forward to? What are your kind of goals this season?
Just stay hopefully in the squad, play well, and reach that semi-final, final again.
Very good.
But win it.
Question one for Russo. Russo, early days in Glasgow. How are you finding it?
Well, the weather's quite nice. I enjoy it. It's a nice place.
And you've had a bit of a chance to a few weeks to train with the guys. How does this environment compare to, say, the Super Rugby environment in South Africa?
Well, it's tough here. Back home in South Africa, the game's not as hard and a bit faster, I would say, but the guys climb in and the body's a bit sore, so yeah.
That should be no issue for a beast like yourself.
Beastie.
And have you tried any of the local cuisine here in Glasgow yet? Have you tried the haggis yet?
Not yet.
I was looking for anyone to take him up for a haggis. Could I ask, can we pass it back to Alex, please? I'd like to ask Alex, so Alex, you come from Edinburgh then? Any differences in Glasgow, between Glasgow and Edinburgh now you've had a pre-season under your belt?
Yeah, well, massively Glasgow, they drive the culture forward, and that's been seen tonight, but sort of when we're just there with team barbecues and the whole culture and bringing the whole team together and as a tight-knit group, and that is very important. I think that does transfer onto the pitch. It seems to be everyone plays and trains together for each other, and that'll result in some good games, I think.
And how did you find the judo sessions in France then? Oh, you were on tour. You weren't there. Were you in France?
I was in France as well. Yeah, they were tough. Some of the toughest sessions we've done. I've done. Yeah, I was actually with James quite a lot, so that was fun. Just getting him some locks and teaching him some moves.
Who was the most frightening to get on the mat then? Who did you not want to draw against?
Muzzle Beast, he was good, and then Josh Strauss, and technically Tommy Spinks from the EDPs. I think his mother had a Commonwealth Games gold medal, which he didn't actually know about. Came out in one of the quizzes, but he was technically very good at judo. Well, apparently I wasn't too switched on with the technical.
Are you saying Tommy's mother used to beat him up in judo? Can I ask Murray a question? Murray, had a year kind of away. You're in our EDP program. You took a year away, and then come back this season and earned yourself a contract. What happened in that year away that kind of I guess registered with you to get things back and get yourself back here with the Warriors full time?
It was just a year away where I enjoyed my rugby for a year. Obviously, quite difficult at times really training myself, doing all my strength and conditioning by myself, long days in the gym. But yeah, a year away, just refresh things, realise how much you want to get involved here and make a career of it. So hopefully get it back this season.
And quite a battle for the number 9 shirt this year with Nico McWaller and Henry Fergus and I guess Ali Price as well from EDP.
Yeah, doesn't get more difficult than that. To be honest, Henry's an international scrum half now. Nico does his thing better than anyone else. Yeah, it'll be good.
And Adam, question for you. You're in New Zealand and you got a phone call. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, was over in New Zealand from April, sort of 8 to 10 weeks into it, and then woke up one morning to a phone call from the Scotland team manager, which was a bit of a surprise, saying that I was to get on a flight the next day to head to South Africa. So yeah, it was pretty special.
And just tell us a bit about your experience in New Zealand. Just full stop. You had was it 6 weeks in New Zealand you had training, or was it?
I was over there for about 3.5 months. training at the International High Performance Unit at Canterbury, who train alongside the Crusaders and get a lot of coaching assistance from the Crusaders coaches and various Canterbury coaches. So yeah, I spent 3.5 months there learning from the best, playing club rugby for Canterbury Uni. So it was a really good experience, learned a lot, so I've been over there.
Key difference that you found between New Zealand and Scotland in terms of rugby?
Just really the amount of players that are playing over there, the player depth, and there's also a fantastic atmosphere around the Crusaders camp, which is really similar to what we have across here. So yeah, there was a lot of similarities, but at the same time some different things as well.
Very good. Rory, got a couple of questions for you. How have you? What's been your? I guess give us a couple of highlights of your pre-season.
I think it was the judo in France. I do like a wee rumble-tumble. So I think the judo in France was a highlight for me, and the Mo Farah, running the Mo Farah, getting a personal best in the Mo Farah, that really was a highlight for me. Which at Mo Farah is, I don't know, like 1,500 metres, just shuttling, and it usually takes boys about 5 minutes, and I actually had the race with him, and he beat me by a second, so I came second in that. That was a highlight for me.
And you got some appearances last year, you got some games last year as an EDP. What are you looking forward to this year in your first year as a pro?
Well, like you said, I had a couple of games last year. This year I'm just looking to build on that from that, get hopefully a lot more games under my belt, and my ultimate goal is to be Glasgow starting winner.
Very good, that's what we wish you very, very best of luck with that. Ewan, can we ask, yeah, that's a round of applause if you want.
Ewan, you were in Glasgow, you've been away 7 years, is it? What, seven seasons you're away?
Yeah, 7 years and I get the worst seat. Can you see me? Yeah. Talking of teamwork. Thanks, guys.
And
shall I stand up?
What kind of key difference? What are the differences you've picked up since you came back into Glasgow?
I think the weather's improved. Just sort of pointed out. I'm a bit bolder. Everything's a lot more professional. The facilities are a lot better. We're based in one place instead of all over Glasgow. Everything seems to be run a lot more smoothly, and really I would say there's excellence in every department. Playing, coaching, strength and conditioning, medical, etc. So, coming back, I can see why the team's improved so much. And obviously, I was away, so that's helped to improve.
And when you were away, did you follow Glasgow? Was it always kind of an ambition to come back and play for your hometown club?
Well, to be honest, I didn't think I would come back. I wasn't sure what I would do. I got married, and my wife's American. She's not really keen on rain. In God's providence, a door opened up at Glasgow, and I feel I've been able to come back, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a really positive environment, and there's loads of confidence, so it's really nice to be part of that.
Very good. Well, it's good to have you back, Ewan. Good to have you back in Glasgow.
Thanks. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? We can try to take a couple of questions for the guys. Does anyone have any questions? Anything they want to ask? Off the hook, gentlemen. Go on. Repeat, Jim.
How many rands?
How many rands in the pound, Tim wants to know? Tim's planning a trip.
About 19 rand, 87 cents.
Anyone else? Yes. It wants to know, Alex, if you're okay playing in front of a crowd.
We'll just have to see. First one, I might get a bit shy, but we'll see.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for the end of proceedings. I want to just thank you all for tuning out tonight. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and really appreciate you looking forward to a fantastic season, and let's hope we go one better. Thank you.